Genesis 10. This is the account of Noah's sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Sons were born to them after the flood. The sons of Japheth were Gomer, Magog, Madai, Javan, Tubal, Meshech, and Tiras. The sons of Gomer were Ashkenaz, Riphath, and Togarmah. The sons of Javan were Elisha, Tarshish, the Kittim, and the Dodanim. Dodanim. From these, the coastlands of the nations were separated into their lands, everyone according to its language, according to their families, by their nations. The sons of Ham were Cush, Mizraim, Put, and Canaan. The sons of Cush were Sheba, Havilah, Sabta, Raamah, and Sabteka. The sons of Raamah were Sheba and Dedan. Cush was the father of Nimrod. He began to be a violent warrior on the earth. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord. That is why it is said, like Nimrod, a mighty hunter before the Lord. The primary regions of his kingdom were Babel, Erech, Akkad, and Calneh in the land of Shinar. From that land he went to Assyria, where he built Nineveh, Rehoboth, Calah, and Resen, which is between Nineveh and the great city Calah. Mizraim was the father of the Ludites, Anamites, Lehabites, Naphtuhites, Pathrusites, Casluhites, from whom the Philistines came, and Caphtorites. Canaan was the father of Sidon, his firstborn, Heth, the Jebusites, Amorites, Girgashites, Hivites, Arkites, Sinites, Arvadites, Zemarites, and Hamathites. Eventually, the families of the Canaanites were scattered, and the borders of Canaan extended from Sidon all the way to Gerar, as far as Gaza, and all the way to Sodom, Gomorrah, Admah, and Zeboim, as far as Lasha. These are the sons of Ham according to their families, according to their language, by their lands, and by their nations. The sons were also born to Shem, the older brother of Japheth, the father of all the sons of Eber. The sons of Shem were Elam, Asher, Arphax, Lud, and Aram. The sons of Aram were Uz, Hul, Jether, and Mash. Arphaxad was the father of Selah, and Shelah was the father of Eber. 2 sons were born to Eber. One was named Peleg, because in his day the earth was divided, and his brother's name was Joktan. Joktan was the father of Almodad, Sheleph, Hazar Maveth, Jerah, Hadaram, Uzal, Diklah, Obal, Abimael, Sheba, Ophir, Havilah, and Jobab. All these were the sons of Jocham. Their dwelling place was from Mesha all the way to Shephar in the east hills. These are the sons of Shem according to their families, according to their language, by their lands, and according to their nations. These are the families of the sons of Noah according to their genealogies, by their nations, and from these the nation spread over the earth after the flood. Okay, so we have table of nations here, and depending upon how you count them, there are either 70 or 72 of them dwelling and named in here. So what do we have? I thought it started with Shem, and then it looked like it had Shem again at the end. Maybe I read that wrong. No, we started with Japheth. So we started in reverse order. We went from the youngest first. We have the sons of Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and then the youngest goes first Interesting. The youngest goes first. And then we have all of those places. And then we don't get a lot of cities mentioned here. We don't get a lot of cities mentioned here when we mention those. But then when we get to Ham's sons, which notice, Canaan is not the first on the list. Canaan is not the first on the list. It could be, Canaan could still be. So if we hold to a possibility that this is progeny with his mother, he could be demoted to last on the list because he is the most important one on the list, or because he's cursed. So he's removed from having the place of being on the top because he's not legit. So there's a couple of ways to put that together. Doesn't matter, essentially. It's just an interesting thing to take note of. So we have Canaan is from Ham. Canaan is where the curse goes. The curse is not on Cush, Mizraim, or Put. And then we could go and see where all of these nations might be on some level. I don't think it matters. They're spread out. They're going to continue to spread out. Some of them are mentioned other places in the Bible. What's interesting, though, is we have Nimrod, the mighty warrior before the Lord. So Cush is the father of Nimrod. Canaan is not. So from Cush, we have a mighty warrior of the Lord coming from Nimrod, coming from Cush. Cush being in Africa, Ethiopia, Sudan region, somewhere in there. And then we have more places mentioned. Just trying to think. Are there any names I want to look up? Let me go back and look at names. Oh, we have Magog here. So there's Gog and Magog, and we have Gomer. Those are names that are mentioned elsewhere. I'm watching you people. Welcome in. No, I don't think I need to look up any of those of Japheth. I do wonder what put means. All right, so we are Genesis 10. We won't look up too many. A lot of these aren't mentioned elsewhere, so we won't look up a lot of them. Oh, we should look up Nimrod, though. So first we'll look up Put. And this spelling has an H in there. So that'd be Foot. Let me put my earphones on to listen. Poot. That loud enough for you? I know you guys have said before that that's not super loud. I do not know how to adjust that off of... Well, I need to get different levels. We'll work on that another time. Okay, so poot a bow. A bow. Poot a bow on it. Poot a bow. Okay. Nimrod, verse 8. Nimrod. That's just a fun name to say. And Bugs Bunny makes fun of Nimrod. If you don't know Bugs Bunny and Looney Tunes, Bugs Bunny is basically poking fun of Elmer Fudd being a Nimrod, a mighty hunter. Okay, so it either means rebellion or the valiant. I'm going to go with valiant because it doesn't mean he was a... Rebellion was a mighty hunter before the Lord. Rebellion, valiant. I think it would make more sense of that. Not that it couldn't have multiple meanings, but I think initially I would probably go in the other direction, I think. I'll leave Babel because we'll get to that. And Shinar, we'll get to that. Ooh, a Chicago-style pizza. Haven't had that in a while. And here we have of Canaan, we have the Girgashites, the Hivites, the Amorites, the Archites, the Sinites. I like that. Sinites. What's Sinites? Let's look that up. So we are verse 17. We'll have the Sinites. These are the people that sin all the time. They're the Sinites. They can't help it. So Sini, Thorn or Clay. Well, that's a variant there. Thorn or Clay. That's a jump between those two. Chicago style pizza is a deep dish pizza. It's not so much what is on it, it's what is in it. It's a yeah, like I don't know how to describe it. I haven't had one in a while, so we have Sodom, Gomorrah. So they will become prominent later. So they're mentioned here. So we've got several places that are named. I think I wanted to go look up Lud as well, or Lud 22. So it's strife, and it's also saying Lydia. So Lud, Ludia, strife. Oh, MASH. I wanted to look up MASH as well. The Masoretic test reads Max. The LXX reads Meshech. Little is known about the descendants of Aram. Okay. Well, let's see what MASH says. His name was Mash. He was a monster mash. He was a Canaan smash. Mash. Okay, drawn out. So if you're taking metal and you're going to draw it out, how would you draw metal out? By mashing it. You would mash it with a mallet, a hammer, to draw it out. So that's interesting that there is some kind of etymology that actually works with that word. Okay. I don't think there are any more names that I wanted to look up, but what we have is the prominence of all of these names. So when we're going to say, how did the earth get populated? We have here is where they come from. We're going to assign every one of the nations around to one of the three sons of Noah. That's where they have all come from. This becomes a problem as people start exploring the globe and finding other peoples and going, they weren't mentioned in the Bible. Well, the Bible, I don't think, is trying to exclusively name every group of people, tribe, tongue on the entire planet. It's not what it's trying to do. It's doing things in conjunction to the place where the people receiving the message are at. So it's only going to mention the ones that are close by there. The 70 to 72 nations is where we get that from. And again, the number of the counting depends on how you number some of these. If two of them are together in one nation or not, I'm not going to sit here and try to count them all. This is called the Table of Nations because it's the genealogy of all of the different nations that are surrounding Israel. Okay. Hope that's making sense. Any questions on that before we go further?